You're watching our special broadcast, The Age of Kohli. I'm Sneha Murdani. Now, one of the most entertainment characters on the cricket field, Virat Kohli, has played his last match as India's T20 captain. It may not have been the kind of result he would have wanted his captaincy to end with, but there are memories and records that King Kohli leaves behind.
It's the end of an era. Hopes were sky high when Virat Kohli took over as captain in white ball format from MS Dhoni. His first major assignment was the 2017 Champions Trophy, where India did well before they ran into Pakistan in the final, eventually finishing runners-up. He had already announced that he would give up his T20 captaincy after the ongoing World Cup, but there were many questions that were left unanswered. Arguably the best batsman of his generation, Virat will leave the T20 captaincy without an ICC trophy, having led India in 4 ICC tournaments, starting with the 2017 Champions Trophy, where India lost in the final. Still have an opportunity to win the World Test Championship, but he can't be sure if he will get a chance to do that in white ball cricket because his future as ODI skipper is also uncertain. Virat's record as T20 captain isn't too bad, having won 64% of the 50 matches that he has led India in, which is better than even MS Dhoni, who led India in 72 T20 internationals. He won matches, he won bilateral series, 15 out of 17 to be precise, but still he had to give up his T20 captaincy. Perhaps what went against Virat was that he, or rather India, was unable to win a major trophy under his leadership, more so because he was given everything that he asked for.
Look, it's been an honor, as I said at the toss. But you know, things have to be kept in the right perspective, and I thought, as I mentioned before, this was the right time for me to just manage my workload. It's been 6-7 years of intense cricket. Every time you take the field, and it takes a lot out of you. So it's been amazing. It's been so much fun.
This T20 World Cup didn't go according to the plan, and Virat knows it well enough. Virat played his last game as the skipper in T20 internationals and possibly in T20 cricket, since he has also given up his captaincy at his IPL franchisee. Surely Virat would realize that he is walking away with some unfinished business. But who knows, this could be the start of Virat 2.0, a more dangerous version of Virat the batsman that we've all seen in the past. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Well, with Virat Kohli's last match as T20 captain, Ravi Shastri's 4-year tenure as Team India's head coach has also come to an end. It was Virat who had backed Shastri for the job after the unceremonious exit of Anil Kumble. It was a roller coaster ride for the two, but then they were never afraid to throw punches at whatever came their way. Here's how that journey went on.
It was a union that many criticized, but for them it were the victories that mattered.
Over Namibia, with plenty of overs.
Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli were two similar personalities, but then one had to take a back seat.
And a big hug there for Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli, a wonderful embrace between the two.
They complemented each other well, and barring the ICC trophies that eluded them, the results were there for all to see.
Big Indian skipper has done it. India have made the semi-finals of the ICC World 2020. They have brought their best to Chandigarh.
The T20 World Cup was their last shot to win an ICC trophy, which unfortunately didn't happen, but they will still take pride in the legacy that they are leaving behind.
As well, who would have helped Ravi Shastri along in this tournament.
I think it's been fantastic. When I took this job, I said in my mind I want to make a difference, and I think I have. Sometimes, Bish, in life, it's not all about what you accomplish, it's what you overcome. And what these guys have overcome over the last 5 years, the way they have traveled across the globe and performed in every corner of the globe in all formats of the game, will make this, irrespective of what's happened here, as one of the great teams in the history of the game. To go across and beat all these sides, and then every team in white ball cricket, whether it's 20-20 or 50 over, we've beaten sides in their den.
Not so easy with 2 new balls around.
As Virat passes on the baton, Shastri has also handed it over to Rahul Dravid. As captain and coach, they both leave a legacy behind. With 30 victories under his belt, Virat is India's second most successful T20 captain behind MS Dhoni. He is the only captain to win bilateral T20 series in all SENA countries, that is South Africa, England, New Zealand and Australia. Virat also led India to its longest winning streak of 10 matches in T20 internationals. Both Virat and Shastri spoke similar language, never held themselves back and backed each other to the hilt.
Virat's still there. He's done a fantastic job as leader of the side. In fact, he's been one of the biggest and the best ambassadors for Test match cricket over the last 5 years. And, a lot of credit goes to him in the way, he's thought about how he wants the team to play the game and how the team have rallied around him.
The biggest legacy that two leave behind is the fast bowling arsenal that they developed under their tenure, of course with the help of bowling coach Bharat Arun. The likes of Bumrah, Shami, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Siraj and many others have made India one of the most potent and dangerous teams when they tour overseas. Surely an ICC trophy will happen someday for Team India, but the efforts of Virat Kohli and Shastri will not go unnoticed.
Yes, we didn't have a great tournament. We could have won 1 or 2 ICC tournaments. Didn't happen. But that is sport. You will get another chance.
And when it does happen, the two will feel their efforts have yielded results.
Legend Sunil Gavaskar has spoken exclusively on the Kohli-Shastri era. Listen in.
It was a very important game for India, and not just because they rounded up this campaign with a victory because they have another series coming with New Zealand, but also remember this was the last game for Virat Kohli as a T20I international captain for India. Who's going to take over from Virat Kohli? It was the captain himself who dropped a hint during the encounter. Listen to this.
Now I think it's time for the next lot to take this team forward. Obviously Rohit's here. He's overlooking things for a while now and will always be the leaders in the group, but also a milestone moment for Indian cricket, especially moving forward.
All right, Sani bhai, I'm just quoting what Virat has just said, that Rohit has been looking on anyway and Indian cricket is in good hands. If I was to ask your opinion, you reckon Rohit Sharma is the best choice going forward, or are you going to look at long term and probably invest in a youngster as a skipper of the T20I internationals?
Well, long term is in case the next World Cup was maybe 2 years away or 3 years away. The next World Cup is less than 12 months away. So you don't really have to look long-term then. Maybe long-term you can look 2022. But right now, I think you've got to look for the best man who can take India to a ICC trophy, and that is Rohit Sharma. With his record for Mumbai Indians in the IPL, he is the obvious choice. So I think he should be given the captaincy. And maybe next year, after the next year's World Cup in Australia is done, maybe have a look at another T20 captain. But right now, it's only Rohit Sharma.
All right, just talking about the captaincy now, how do you see Virat Kohli's role now as just a batsman in T20 internationals for India going forward? Do you see him being as destructive as we saw him a few years ago? How do you see his role now in the team?
Well, in the last couple of years, his scoring rate had dropped down. So, and maybe it could have been the cares of captaincy that did that. So clearly, I think with the cares of captaincy no longer on his shoulders, he would be able to regain that destructive streak that he had 4 years ago. And if that happens, then it's only a win-win situation for Indian cricket.
All right, finally, if I was to ask you, how would you sum up his captaincy? I'm just going to, mention a few numbers here. 50-odd matches that he's captain, which is, one of the highest for any Indian, only after MS Dhoni. He's got 32 wins there, a 64% win percentage that I see. How would you sum up his tenure as a T20I international captain? Well,
you just mentioned all the records, and I think that just shows what a terrific captain he's been. He's got the results in bilateral series, whether it's been at home or overseas. Overseas, India has beaten South Africa, Australia, England, West Indies, in the T20 format, in the 50 overs format. So I think his record is unmatchable. Yes, in the ICC events, the team has faltered. But even in the ICC event, the World Cup, the 50 overs World Cup, India were in the semi-finals. So they were in the top 4 teams. So clearly, I think if you forget the ICC trophies, then his record's outstanding.
So if I was to nitpick, and I'm just looking back now in hindsight as far as Virat as captain was concerned, when he also looks back, would he see that one minor thing, no consistency in playing 11s, would be one thing that if you give him a chance now, he would like to rectify, looking back at his tenure as captain?
That's hard to say. That is really hard to say. But I think the captain generally picks the side according to what he thinks is going to be best suited for that particular day, for that particular opposition, for that particular ground conditions. So, I mean, down the road now, I don't think it's worth even looking back and saying, look, he should have done this or he should have done that. Let's just be thankful for the fact that he was there. He took India to so many wins at home and overseas. And let's celebrate the fact that as a captain, he got many victories for India.
All right, as Sai says, we're going to forget about now looking back. We look forward now in our program. What is it that India needs to do going forward in the next 1 year? That's going to be our focus for the next few minutes. But before that, let's listen in to Ravi Shastri as well. Remember, his tenure as coach is also coming to an end. And this is what he had to say about India's performance at this T20 World Cup.
See, I am mentally drained, but I expect that at my age. These guys are physically and mentally drained. 6 months in a bubble. And then what we would have ideally liked was a bigger gap between the IPL and the World Cup so that it's not a question of, it's when the big games come and when the pressure hits you, you're not that switched on as you should be, and it's not an excuse. This is not an excuse. We take defeat because we're not scared of losing, because in trying to win you will lose a game. Here we didn't try to win because that X factor was missing.
Right, Saiba, as often as it happens in India, when the Indian team doesn't do well, all hell breaks loose. But I'm going to ask you, to give us some sort of perspective. Now, going forward, as you were saying, plenty of things to look forward to. There's an immediate series now against New Zealand. And then going forward, there'll be some important tours. Then the T20 World Cup. Just looking at the T20 team, do you think this T20 team should remain? This is the core group and you should continue with this? Or do you need a major overhaul as far as T20 cricket is concerned?
I think there has to be some sort of a change, but not immediately. But you certainly need fresh legs, fresh thinking, more T20 approach, more T20-like approach and attitude from some of the new guys coming in. So that will happen. That will happen over the year. There's no doubt about it. Right now, I don't think we should be looking to make too many changes. We mustn't be looking to shuffle too many people up and down. Just be happy with what has happened so far. I mean, obviously, don't take the fact that the World Cup has been lost lightly. Think about what happened. But clearly, I think too many changes don't help anybody.
Virat Kohli was the obvious choice to take over from MS Dhoni in 2017. But who is then going to be the next captain of Team India now that Virat has played his last T20 as Indian captain? Rohit Sharma has been the captain in waiting, and stage is set for him to replicate what he has done with Mumbai Indians in the IPL. He is a front runner to fill in Virat's shoes there.
Now that Virat Kohli has relinquished the captaincy in T20 cricket, Rohit Sharma, in all likelihood, will take over the reins.
There was no support over there, so it was really a free hit.
Rohit's excellent record as captain for his Mumbai Indians franchise in IPL makes him an automatic choice. But is it that simple?
Just a lovely swing of the bat.
KL Rahul's name is also doing the rounds, but Rohit, because of his excellent record with the IPL franchise Mumbai Indians, makes him a stronger candidate.
There's only open spaces in this field, one bounce.
Not just in the IPL, where Rohit has led Mumbai Indians to 5 titles, even when he has led India in the absence of Virat, the Mumbai opener has left his mark. Rohit has led India in the 19 T20 internationals, winning 15 of those, a win percentage of 78.94. This also includes a series win at the Nidhas Trophy. Many believe that Rohit comes across as a captain similar to MS Dhoni, calm, composed and many a times instinctive. Rahul Dravid is set to join Team India as head coach and would be actively involved in the appointment of the next captain. And Virat may have already spilled the beans.
Now I think it's time for the next lot to, take this team forward. Obviously, Rohit's here. He's overlooking things for a while now, and will always be the leaders in the group. But also a milestone moment for Indian cricket, especially moving forward.
Now over off. Way too easy.
But Rohit, going by the reputation of a leader that he has carried all these years, looks the more obvious choice for India's next T20 captain. And possibly in ODIs as well. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Well, Ravi Shastri signs off as Team India's head coach with a win against Namibia. He gave a stirring dressing room speech where he reflected on the team's journey over the last few years. Take a look.
You guys as a team have over-exceeded my expectations with the way you played. Over the last few years, to go across the globe, across all formats, and beat everyone, makes you one of the great teams that have played the game. Not a great Indian cricket team, hear me out. This will go down as one of the great teams that have played the game over the last 5 years across, 5-6 years across all formats. Because the results are there to be seen. Yes, we didn't have a great tournament. We could have won 1 or 2 ICC tournaments. Didn't happen. But that is sport. You will get another chance. You'll be wiser, you'll be more experienced when the next opportunity comes. But for me, the most important thing, in life, it's not about all what you accomplish. It is what you overcome. Overrides everything else. So what you have gone through in the last 2 years with COVID, the hurdles that come on the way, the write-offs that happen, everything. You go through all that and you become stronger in the mind, tougher and ready to play the game at the highest level, to compete. And that's the best thing I like about this Indian cricket team.
Well, you can find the special report and much more going up on our website too. That's indiatoday.in. You can also download the app. That's it from me for the moment. Much more news on the other side.